Why Texas may lose to Ohio State. 3 Buckeyes' strengths in the college football playoff. Texas coach Steve Sarkisian recently called Ohio State the best team in college football. And while that may have been a bit of motivational posturing, there's no denying that the Buckeyes are a serious threat. After dominating Oregon in the Rose Bowl and swiftly handling Tennessee in the opening round, Ohio State, 12-2, enters the Cotton Bowl with a head of steam. But what makes the Buckeyes such a formidable opponent for the Longhorns, 13-2? Here are 3 key areas where Ohio State could overwhelm Texas. 1. Texas is vulnerable in pass protection. The Longhorns may have been one of the top 3 finalists for the Joe Moore Award for Best Offensive Line, but they've had their struggles when it comes to pass protection. Texas has allowed 2.2 sacks per game, placing them in the bottom half nationally. Compare that to Ohio State's ferocious pass rush, which is ranked 3rd in the country, averaging 3.4 sacks per game. With JT Tuimoloau leading the charge and a front 7 capable of putting immense pressure on the quarterback, the Buckeyes will look to exploit Texas's weak link. If the Longhorns can't shore up their pass protection, it could be a long night for Quinn Ewers. 2. Ohio State's wide receiver core is a nightmare for Texas secondary. The Texas defense faces a massive challenge in Ohio State's receiving core, led by freshman sensation Jeremiah Smith, who racked up 1.224 yards this season and just went off for 187 yards against Oregon, along with Emeka Egbuka and Carnell Tate, both of whom have surpassed 600 yards. Smith forms part of one of the most dangerous receiving groups Texas has encountered all season. The Longhorns' secondary has been solid, but they haven't faced a balanced attack like the Buckeyes this year. A big test awaits, and Texas's defense will need to step up to contain these explosive weapons. 3. Texas's turnover struggles have taken a toll. Texas was once dominant in the turnover battle, but that dominance has faltered in recent weeks. Since their November 16 victory over Arkansas, the Longhorns have a negative turnover differential of -1 over 5 games. In their matchups with other college football playoff teams, Texas is sitting at -2 in turnover margin. While Ohio State hasn't been perfect in this area, they've done enough to avoid turnovers and force them when it matters. To make matters worse for Texas, kicker Bert Auburn has been inconsistent, converting just 64% of his field goals this season, adding an extra layer of uncertainty. Turnovers and special teams mistakes could give Ohio State the advantage in this high-stakes matchup. As the Longhorns gear up for the Cotton Bowl, these are 3 areas where Ohio State could capitalize to seal a victory. It's clear that Texas has its work cut out for it, and the Buckeyes are not going to make it easy. But in football, anything can happen, and the Longhorns will need to play their best to keep Ohio State at bay.